Hey guys, what's up? Allie here. I had gotten some requests for a 30-minute power or strength focused flow, little yoga practice for the holiday week that is coming up next week. Really for any time that you just don't have extra space in your day to get in a full hour on your mat. This will be really nice for that. I know especially when you're surrounded by family and friends, sometimes you don't want to take that extra 30 minutes and sometimes you are just not allowed to take that 30 minutes. So get it in while you can. Let's go ahead and get started on our backs, on the mat, in a constructive rest pose. So trying to multitask here, finding our entire spine onto the mat, finding our knees falling in together, feet are on the edges of the mat. And then just find a comfy spot for your arms. Maybe one hand is on your belly, one hand is on your heart. Maybe you're finding opposite elbows with the center of your palms and really finding the tip of the elbow fitting into the center of the palm like a ball in a mitt. And so by way of this fit, you feel your collarbones be able to spread. You feel the lungs come up and forward. And maybe you even notice that the breath is moving in and out a little easier. And maybe not even trying to take notes on the breath. Maybe you just allow yourself to experience the rise and fall of the rib cage. Maybe notice for the first time that the texture of your breath is the perfect texture for your body to be able to move in and out, to gather all the nutrients, the minerals, the life-giving quality of great nature becoming your personal nature. And how generous that is, that you really don't have to do anything to deserve or earn this breath. It's just happening for you and to you, almost like life is breathing you. Just letting yourself settle in, soften in, set a starting point for this practice today before we get moving, separating everything that happened earlier today and everything that's going to go on after this practice. One more breath here. Nice. Next time you exhale really fully let all of that breath out of that air, all of that air exit the body. And then with your inhale, unwind your arms from wherever they were. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers. And then here I want you to stop that pulling of the knees before your tailbone lifts away from the earth. So when you notice that the lower back starts to round, pause, really actively press the lower back, the tailbone down onto the earth. And at the same time, think about from that hinge in the front of your hips, your knees come towards your eyebrows. So again, instead of rounding in, we're really trying to keep the lower back, the tailbone pulling down, and the knees pulling more up than down towards the shoulders. Just really finding a bit of compression in the front of the hips. Toes can be pointed here or feet can be flexed. And then we're going to give this max effort and find an isometric contraction. When you're ready, next inhale, really actively keeping your tailbone down. Pull the upper thighs, the quads, the knees towards your eyebrows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the effort. Feel maybe a little cramp in the front of your hips. Let your knees rock side to side. So nice. One more just like that, but this time we're going to wrap our hands around our shins. So you can interlace your fingers or you can just have one hand on each shin, almost like one of my teachers, Melanie, always says a bird claw on a branch. So finding the wrap, finding a good fit, making contact with yourself, getting a handle on yourself here. And instead of pulling your knees towards you, this time I want you to actively press your shins into your hands and resist with your hands. So exhale, make room. And then with your inhale, pull your hands to your shins and press your shins away. So by way of doing this, of making this effort, we're here for another 5 counts. You can really feel your tailbone pressing down into the earth. Feel this resistance, this compression in a different direction for 3, 2, 1, and then let it go. Really nice. Bring the soles of your feet down to the ground. Take a bridge pose, so press your heels down into the earth. Maybe even think about scrubbing them back towards your sit bones, and then tuck your tailbone, lift your hips. Find your really nice full bridge pose here, sending the tailbone forward so you find your glutes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back down to earth. We'll take a really active crunch to come up to a seated position. So reach your hands forward. Think about tucking the tailbone and finding those lower core ab muscles, eventually coming all the way up to a seat. So nice. Let's get started. Continue that forward trajectory, going forward, finding our potential out in front of us, and find a tabletop pose. So we always like to take the measure, bring your middle fingers into touch below you, taking that measure so you can really get in the center of your joint space, the center of your bones. Once you find that measure, spin all 10 fingers forward. Find a nice neutral tilt to the pelvis, a nice neutral spinal position. Check and line up your knees behind your wrists so you're about hip distance here. Slight bend into the elbows, spread those collarbones wide, gaze is forward but not to where you're cranking your neck and lifting your tailbone yet. Find a nice solid ground here, and then with your exhale, first cow pose of the day, pull your heart forward, lift your tailbone, gaze comes slightly out ahead of you. Nice. Inhale, pull yourself together, find cat pose. And this whole time, we're going to take these back and forth, so take them at your own speed. I really want this to be like a max effort cat-cow. So we're going to take it 4 more times each direction. Each time, focus on a different point of contact. So maybe it's the fingertips and the toenails. Maybe it's the heels of the hands and maybe the knees. Maybe it's rotating the triceps back and the biceps forward and the inner thighs trying to meet each other in the middle. Nice. Notice that if you're shifting your weight back as you go through these cat-cows, it's taking a little bit of the pressure off, but we really want the internal pressure, the pressure that we're creating in the body, to be efficient, to match the pressure outside of us, because there is certainly enough of that. So really turn your boiler room on, that room number 1, that fire of the belly. Get yourself connected and heated up. Light that match, turn on the ignition, and then come back to center. So lovely. From here, tuck your toes underneath, lift your hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog of the day. In your downward facing dog today, I really don't care if your heels ever hit the ground. I just want you to think about finding that hinge into the hips we were playing with when we were on our backs as we started. So pedal out your feet, shake out your hips. If you have tight calves, tight hamstrings, back line of the legs just generally is sticky, really take your time here and maybe think about lifting your toes as you bend your knee and bring the ball of the foot slightly forward. So not moving the leg forward necessarily, but really changing the angle in the ankle so that as you press down, when the ball of the foot comes slightly forward here, you're able to really release into those calves. From here, pause in the middle, find your nice stable downward facing dog. Heels are probably a little lifted, knees can be really bent. And then when you're ready, we're gonna try to keep the crown of the head pulling forward, the tailbone pulling back, but we'll bend the knees. So almost like you're like one of those little oil drill things. You're gonna bend your knees. As you bend your knees, your head naturally comes slightly forward, tap the mat, and then come back to your downward facing dog. So really trying to think of yourself more as like a lever here. So everything is moving at the same time. You're simply folding and opening the backs of the knees here. 2 more. Keeping your hands nice and stable, but the work is in the legs. So nice. And then as you're ready, come back to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, really lift your heels, really bend your knees like you're loading a spring. Inhale, come all the way forward to high plank pose. Once you get there, take that measure 1 more time. Maybe even spin your middle fingers into touch. See if you can think about pressing down into the entire palm of the hand. So heels of the hands base of the fingers. Heels are pressing behind you. Think about opening those collarbones. Wrap your biceps forward. Really actively pressing yourself away from the floor so that space in between your shoulder blades is lifting. Tops of the hips and the bottoms of the ribs try to touch, so you're really using that whole core. And then on the next exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna fold and unfold into that for the next few rounds. So as you inhale, wave yourself forward, so launch into that spring, and then come forward to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking it 2 more times like an ocean wave, moving forward and back, going out into the world, and then coming back home. So nice. Find yourself in downward facing dog. This time as you come forward to high plank pose, pause for 1 more moment, shift your weight slightly forward and find a chaturanga. As you exhale back up to high plank pose, knees will come down, forearms will come down, weight shifts slightly back, and then as you inhale, push and pull yourself through to a tuck-toed upward facing dog. Really thinking about the backs of the knees lifting towards the ceiling, so your legs are in play this whole time. Tailbone tucks, and as the tailbone tucks and the pubic bone comes forward, you find a slight lift in the heart. So not a forward, but a lift up towards the sky. As you exhale, downward facing dog. So nice. 1 more just like that. Inhale, come forward, high plank, shift your weight slightly forward, bend the elbows, chaturanga push up, back to high plank pose. Knees come down, forearms come down, look forward, push and pull through upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Lovely. When you're ready, right toes to the sky as you inhale for 3-legged dog. Right foot steps up to your right thumb as you exhale. Easy twist, so right hand reaches up to the sky. Trying to keep that left leg active, core active, so the rotation is really coming from the upper body. Right hand reaches up to the sky. As you exhale, right hand comes down outside of the right foot for a high runner's lunge, taking a measure here. Take your right knee directly into your right armpit. Pull that right hip back in space. Roll the left hip forward. Pull your heart forward. Keep that left leg active and lifted. And then you're going to shift your weight back to find a really long pyramid pose. As you inhale, you'll come forward to that high runner's lunge. And as you exhale, you'll push yourself back. Keep contact with the upper and lower body this whole time. Right knee stays in the right armpit, finding space and strength, length, and power all at one time. 1 more time, and then you'll pause in your high runner's lunge. So nice. Bring both hands down to the mat, and with the strength of the lower body, of the core, you're going to lift your right foot away from the mat, step to the back of the mat, shift your weight forward, find that chaturanga push-up. Knees and forearms come down, look forward. Push and pull yourself through to that tuck-toed upward facing dog, and then exhale back, downward facing dog. As you arrive, left toes to the sky as you inhale. Left foot steps up to the left thumb as you exhale. From that high runner's lunge, we're there for just a moment, and then we find easy twist. Left hand comes up to the sky. Notice if your left hip is trying to come with you. Send that sucker towards the back wall. Bring the right leg into the game. Left hand reaches up towards the sky, so you're keeping the hips somewhat squared off. Their whole core is playing, and the left hand is reaching up, creating space between the collarbones once again, so the ribs can open. You can rotate a little bit more. As you exhale, left hand comes down to the outside of the left foot. Left knee fits in the left armpit. Find your measure. Right leg is still active. Core muscles are still active. And then as you're ready, keeping that contact, keeping the fit, exhale, find that really long pyramid pose. Nice. Come forward as you inhale, high runner's lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, come forward, high runners. Nice. 1 more time, just like that. And then when you come forward to that high runner's lunge, plant your palms. Left foot is going to lift up and away from the mat. Come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to high plank pose. Exhale, take your push up. Knees and forearms come down. Look forward, push and pull yourself through to upward facing dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Right toes to the sky as you inhale. Right foot to right thumb as you exhale. Find your measure, so find that knee fitting into the armpit. And then from here, you're going to find an eagle wrap in the arms. So right arm will wrap under the left arm. So you're still in that fit. Right armpit is still on the right knee. And then with your inhale, we're going to really punch the left hand forward. So you're going to back bend to come up, using the legs to keep you stable. Push that left hand forward, look forward, back bend to rise, finding a high lunge with your eagle wrapped arms. Hello, effort. So your chin can link over the left bicep, over the left shoulder. Keeping your balance here can definitely be a challenge. Keep sending your right knee forward. Keep activating your back left leg. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Come as far forward as you can. And take this 2 more times. So really using the projection of the left arm forward to back bend all the way up. If you're doing this right, you're gonna feel the right quad. Exhale, fold back down. The right leg, the left leg, everything is working here. 1 more time. Inhale. Nice. And exhale, come back down. Lovely. Let the left knee drop. Inhale for Anjaneyasana. So with that boundary of the left hip, I really want you to think about the tailbone pulling down, the pubic bone pushing forward, pulling the right knee towards the center line. Back toes can be tucked or untucked, but instead of getting down into our depths here, we really want to stay a little more elevated. Send the right knee forward and find the space by way of plugging the right leg in, pushing the left hip slightly forward, and lifting the heart. Reach your hands up to the sky. So nice. As you exhale, frame out that right front foot. Left toes tucked under if they're not there yet. Left knee lifts. Right toes come up and back. 3-legged dog. Nice. And then step the right foot behind the left knee for a little wild thing pose. So open your heart up to the sky. Really thinking about opening up the left shoulder. So think about pressing down from the left thumb and opening through the heart space. As you exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Right foot steps by the left foot. Shift your weight forward. Take that push up. Knees and forearms come down. Look forward. Pull all the way through. Upward facing dog with your toes tucked. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. So nice. Other side. Your downward facing dog, we've got the left side. So lift your left toes to the sky as you inhale. Left foot steps up to your left thumb as you exhale, finding that high runner's lunge. So really square off the hips, fit that left knee into your left armpit, and then we'll find those eagle wrapped arms. So left elbow wraps under the right elbow. Find the twist of the forearms. Right hand will punch forward, leading the way with this time. Back bending to rise. So really coming forward to come up, right? And then as you exhale, fold back over that left knee. 2 more times. Inhale, back bend to come up. Really doing the work in the legs here. As you exhale, come forward, not like you have a choice. And then as you inhale, forward all the way up. As you exhale, come back down. Arms unwrap. Right knee comes down to earth. Find your Anjaneyasana with the left knee forward. So plug that left leg in. Roll the right hip slightly forward. Finding yourself, again, coming forward to come up. Because we're not looking back. We're not sitting back on the brakes. We're really hitting the accelerator to find that forward momentum towards our potential. Lift the heart. So nice. As you exhale, both hands frame out the left front foot. Right toes tuck under, right knee lifts, and then left toes go to the sky for 3-legged dog. This time, left knee is going to cross behind the right knee. Find your wild thing on this side. So left hand reaches up to the sky, rotate your heart open, look up, and find your version. So you can really press into the left foot here, lifting the hips up towards the sky a little bit more actively. And then as you're ready, rotate to face the mat. Left hand comes down. Shift your weight forward. Find your high plank pose. Find your push-up. Knees and forearms come down. Pull forward on the inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. So nice. So hopefully we're feeling pretty warmed up from here. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step, hop, or float. Your feet will come to the outside of your hands, finding a nice active squat position. So heels are going to be angled in, knees are angled out. Lift your heart, reach your hands forward, and then think about the inner thighs rotating up and out so you're not in the lower back, you're really in the legs, the glutes, trying to get those hips the same height as the knees. Heart lifts, shoulders pull back, and then as you exhale, hands come together to heart center, legs straighten. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky, lift your heart, tuck that tailbone. As you exhale, come back through your active squat position. Pausing here for a minute, lift your right heel, rotate your right knee in towards the center line, tap that right knee towards the mat, come back to center. Left knee taps in, back to center one more time. So you're lifting the heel, rotating the right knee in, back to active squat, left heel lifts, left knee rotates in, back to active squat. From here, hinge at the hips, hands plant, elbows bend, look forward, and you can simply step or hop back and find your own version of a vinyasa. Maybe you've got that push-up, maybe it's chaturanga to up dog to down dog, but we all meet back in downward facing dog. 2 more rounds of that. When you're ready, lift your heels, bend your knees, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat to find your active squat. From here, find center, so find that central line of energy, and then shift your weight to the right. So not finding the rotation, but just simply shifting over to the right leg, back to center, left leg, back to center, right leg, center, left leg, center. Exhale, let it go, hands to heart center. Tuck your tailbone, lift your hands to the sky, lift your heart, lift your vision up to the potential. What's coming next? As you exhale, pass through that active squat, not pausing this time. Hands plant, elbows bend, look forward, step or hop back, and take your vinyasa. Again, you can always add the push-up and then the knee and forearm pull through to upward facing, or your normal vinyasa, just meet back in downward facing dog. So lovely. One more time, just like that. Lift your heels, bend your knees. If you're stepping, alternate the foot that's stepping forward. Find yourself in your active squat, and we're just here a little longer than we want to be. Time under tension really builds that strength. So be here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands to heart center. Really lovely. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, come back through your active squat position. Plant your hands. Look forward, step, hop, float to the back of the mat. Take your version of a vinyasa and meet back in downward facing dog. So nice. Right toes to the sky as you inhale. Right foot steps up to the right thumb as you exhale. Easy twist. Keep your hips square. Right hand reaches to the sky. And then on your exhale, right hand comes down to the inside of the right foot. So maybe even flip your fingertips back. If that's really far away, you can be on your fingertips. But we're going to find the left hand reaching up to the sky and rotating open to the left side of the room. This one is a lot trickier than the easy twist. I call it the not easy twist. And then exhale, bring your left hand back down. Right hand comes back up. And just take these side to side at your own pace. Keeping the back left leg active is really key here to finding that rotation in the upper body, to finding length from the crown of the head all the way through the tailbone. And then when you're ready, once you've had enough, left hand comes down, right hand comes down. Find that eagle wrap of the arms. 1 more round of these. Right arm under left arm. And just take these up and down 3 times. So inhale, you rise. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back down. 1 more time. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, back down. So nice. Right foot steps to the back of the mat. Take your vinyasa. Take that push up. And we all meet back in downward facing dog. Left toes come to the sky this time with your inhale. Left foot, left thumb as you exhale. Easy twist just for a moment to find your footing, get yourself organized, set up for success. And then as you exhale, left hand comes down inside of the left foot. Again, maybe your hand is reversed and you're matching up the heel of the hand with the heel of the foot. Maybe your fingertips are out ahead of your foot. Find a space where you're keeping the knee and the armpit measured up, lined up, and then find the rotation open towards the right. And again, really finding the activity in your legs here is going to help allow the upper body to be free to move. Each exhale is when you switch the hand that's lifting, switch to the direction of the rotation. So nice. Taking it 1 or 2 more times. And then eventually, left hand comes down to frame the left foot. Left foot steps to the back of the mat, finding your vinyasa, finding that push up, pulling through to upward facing, and then exhale back, downward facing dog. Right toes to the sky as you inhale. One more little push. Right foot steps to the right thumb as you exhale. Warrior 2 is where we're going. Really send that right knee forward, tuck the tailbone. Find both legs yet again. Inhale to charge up. As you exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. Your version of a side plank pose. So make this as spicy as you want. You can stack your ankles. You can stagger your feet. Left knee can come down. Find your spot really lifting like a rainbow is underneath you and you're lifting your body over it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right foot steps up in line with the left hand towards the top of the mat. Extended side angle. So you may have some more space here where your right hand can be down on the mat and you can open yourself up that way. Or if you want to work both sides of your obliques here, right hand reaches forward, left hand reaches forward, and you find the rotation in the upper body. One more exhale. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Right hand reaches up and overhead. As you exhale, triangle pose. Right hand reaches towards the front of the mat over your right foot. Eventually, right hand comes down to the mat. And then same thing we've been playing with, finding the stability in the lower body, the ability, the space, the capacity to handle things with the upper body. Inhale, peaceful triangle. Right hand reaches up and overhead. And then as you exhale, you're going to rotate to face the mat, finding yourself in a forward fold at the top of the mat. As you're ready, left foot steps up. Feet are hip distance. Measure up that space with your 2 fists between your feet. Pull your heart forward with a little halfway lift. Exhale, fold. So really deep bend in both knees. Knees fit into your armpits here. And then one more little push. Find opposite elbows with your palms. Frame out your vision so forearms are above the crown of your head. Biceps are by your ears. And start to sit your hips back. Knees come forward. Chair pose is where we're going with the frame for your vision. So really think about the knees going forward. The sit bone's pulling back. Heart is lifting. Exhale, stand all the way up. And find a little back bend. Nice. When you're ready, come back through to find that chair pose. And then fold all the way down. Nice. Plant your hands, step or hop back. Vinyasa. We're going to get those push-ups in today. Whatever version works for you right now. Back to downward facing dog. Left toes to the sky as you inhale. Left foot, left thumb as you exhale. Inhale brings you into your warrior 2. So find your spot. Your exhale sinks you down in, but you're going forward, not down to the basement. Forward over that left knee with some depth. You know, we don't want to always be so shallow. Inhale to charge up. As you exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Side plank on the right side. So get over yourself for a second. Note to self there. Find space through the collarbones. Find a press into the right hand. So by way of pressing down, you lift up. Finding that rainbow underneath the right side of you. For 3, 2, 1. Left foot steps up to the top of the mat with grace and ease. Eventually, finding your version of that extended side angle. So again, maybe you find a fit at the left knee and the left armpit. Maybe you're sending both arms forward. Don't forget about the bend in the left knee, though. Find that rotation. Work both sides of the core. And then inhale for peaceful warrior. Nice. As you exhale, triangle pose is where we're going. So make space for yourself. Shift that left hip in. Left hand reaches forward. Eventually, left hand comes down. Rotate to look up towards that right hand. So nice. Find length through the spine by way of finding a little back bend here. Every fold finds a back bend. Pull those shoulder blades together. And then as you inhale, use the strength of your core, of your side body to find peaceful triangle. Really reaching away. Nice. As you exhale, rotate your body to face the front of the mat. Both hands can come down to help you. Right heel lifts and right foot steps to the top of the mat, finding yourself in a nice forward fold.
So measure your feet, find hip distance, take that halfway lift, find the upper body and lower body meeting, and then frame out your vision. So opposite arm will be on top, the one that feels weird. As you inhale, start to send your knees forward, hips back. Find your chair pose, holding it here. Organize yourself in space. And then as you exhale, standing all the way up, find that little back bend. Coming back through after a round of breath to find your chair pose. Eventually, you come all the way down to find that fold. Nice. Hands plant, step or hop back. Take your vinyasa. Really lovely. One more round of these, and then we will cool it down. Right toes to the sky as you inhale. Right foot, right thumb as you exhale. Inhale, warrior two. So not holding these a long, long time, just finding your organization. The better technique we have, the more times we do this stuff, the faster we can find the sweet spot. Inhale to charge up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Side plank, maybe it's a wild thing, maybe it's a flip dog, maybe it's a full wheel. Find your spot. One breath out. Inhale as you rotate or step your right foot to the top of the mat. Side angle, extended side angle. Your version. Last time doing these, so maybe a half bind happens. We're here for one more breath. Find space into the crown of the head. Inhale, peaceful warrior. This time, back of your head can rest in the palm of your right hand. So don't forget about the right knee. You're still sending that right knee forward to stack over the right ankle. But at the same time, we're really imagining a lot of space happening between the right elbow, the top of the right rib, the hip, the knee and the ankle. So really finding space to the right side body. And then, oh, what a relief, triangle pose. Right hand reaches forward. Eventually find that hinge in the hip, the rotation of the heart, lifting the heart forward and up so we can sing out, ask for what it wants, find its praise. Inhale, peaceful triangle. Same thing, the back of your head can rest into your right hand. Nice, finding space and length through the right side body. And then when you're ready, rotate to face the right foot. Use your hands to help you. You're gonna come all the way up to that forward fold. This time, inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, traditional chair pose with the breath out. And then continuing to fold, hands come down to the mat, and you've got an option here to take a crow pose, take an arm balance. If you want it, plant your hands, knees find triceps, triceps find knees, look forward, shift forward, find your balance. And then with control, find your vinyasa as soon as you're ready. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. One more side as you arrive, left toes to the sky with your inhale. Left foot, left thumb as you exhale. Warrior two on that in-breath. Exhaling, finding your depth, stacking your left knee over your left ankle. Really activating through the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, charge up. Exhale, right hand comes down to the earth. Rotating around ourselves, maybe finding wild thing or flip dog, full wheel here. One more breath. And then on your inhale, left foot steps up to the top of the mat. Extended side angle. Your version, maybe you're really finding that ball and mitt fit of the knee to the armpit. Maybe you've got the left forearm on top of the left leg. Wherever you are, we're going to peaceful warrior from here. So lift the left hand up and behind, finding the back of the head resting into the palm of the left hand, finding that space, send the left knee forward if it backed off of the effort. We only catch grace when we make the effort to find it. And then as you're ready, start to move towards that triangle pose. Finding your spot, adjusting your clothes if you need to on the way. Find triangle. From here, and again, plug that left leg in, find space from the crown of the head through the outside of the right hip. Really spread yourself apart like your brownie batter, and you want to get all of yourself spread out to the edges of the pan so you're baked evenly and delicious. And then when you're ready, triangle or peaceful triangle, left hand reaches up and overhead. Find room, find space. Head can rest in left hand. Play the arm the way you want to here. And then when you're ready, frame out that left front foot. Right foot steps to the top of the mat. Finding that forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Find a little back bend. As you exhale, coming through that chair pose. And again, if you want another arm balance, you want another crow pose, find it here. Otherwise, step or hop back. Take your vinyasa. Maybe one more little push up. And then eventually, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Once you get there, both knees come down to the ground. Big toes touch, knees spread wide. Give yourself a moment to breathe, to recenter. Maybe a mental gold star for putting in the work. Maybe allowing some kind of an intention for the rest of your day to come to you as you settle down here. Letting the exhales come through the mouth, cooling down the body. Nice. And if that's all you have time for today, I'll close this video out here. Take your time to go back to what you have to do. Otherwise, we'll follow in this playlist with a final cool down, meditation and chill out time, which you can also use separately later. So I'll meet you in just a minute on our backs if you're going to the next video. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your